I love this idea that if you have a lot of anxiety, you just need to be doing scarier things to challenge yourself to reach your goals. Because I've seen a few people have this conversation about like, you will notice, I do really well actually in like crisis or like situations where you need to act. I always do, you know, I've been in situations where somebody is there with a bat on a doorstep waiting for me and the guy I'm with, and I get out of the car and start being like, why are you guys following us around and why do you have a bat? They were like suspicious of us. They thought that we broke into their house because we were black, God forbid. Anyways, the guy I was with said he felt very protected by me, which, you know, there's been a few times, even the other day on the weekend, like this guy on a bike, super drunk at whatever time, me and my friends were walking home, and he like almost biked into my friend. And I was like, whoa, you need your training wheels there, buddy? And he was like, you need your training wheels. And I was like, I'm not riding a bike crashing into girls at 2 a.m. And his girlfriend, this is another conversation. Girlfriends of men who are like being willy-nilly in the streets at night, you need to have a little bit more accountability for your child. Like if he's behaving like one, you need to get your mans and stop him from crashing into my friends. Anyways, I kind of was just like, hey, like watch where you're going. Like you almost hit her. Anyway. And I saw his girlfriend look back at him just like kind of embarrassed. And I was like, bro, do something. He's misbehaving and he's got a vehicle. He's got a big toy. Anyway, in situations where action is needed, I don't hesitate. And I think that sometimes super anxious brains and I think some people have been saying this, are just really primed for like conflict and for challenge. Does that make sense? So in that vein, you need to just like take scarier creative leaps or like career leaps and do things that are hard in that way to like get that energy out of that part of your brain. So that's what I'm gonna start trying to do. Because I have so much like dormant, anxious energy and thoughts. I also think like obviously reading helps, and then I get a little bit more immersed in that world and I can worry about their world. Like right now I'm reading A Secret History, and I love when things are drama and there's a little bit of a whodunit factor, because then I can think about that. Otherwise my brain is just dormant, running on ways that like my life could be doomed or ruined. And I'm not exaggerating at all. I'm not exaggerating one little bit. Like doom is the correct word, that it's not hyperbolic whatsoever. It feels like doom. Okay? It feels like unending black hole, never coming back from it. Doom. I'm not gonna say sometimes, I'm gonna say a lot of times. Like I would say that's a little bit of a default setting for some of us, I think. Anyways, and then when I was young, when I was in like grade 2, I came home from school one day and my mom had bought me a book on anxiety, but she didn't say anything about it. There was just a book on the table. And I was like, what do you want me to do? That was so weird. I was like, what do you want me to do with this? Like, you need to, this is a whole other mommy issues video. And I love my mom, but her communication, I'm such a communicator, and like to just give a kid who's, how old are you in grade 2? You're like 7, 8? You're 7 or 8, right? To give a kid like me just like a book of anxiety and depression and not give any context before me seeing that was just like a little much, okay? That was just like a little bit, whoa, something's super wrong with me, and it's so bad that we can't even talk about it. She just gives me a book, because in my head, that's shame a little, right? That feels like you're ashamed to even speak the words. Meanwhile, she was like struggling with her own stuff. But, you know, you can have compassion for your parents and also wish that you had more context and wish that you had more communication. I digress. I think that I definitely thought that there was something wrong with my thoughts and my anxiety, but I also couldn't stop them, and I also had undiagnosed OCD. And yeah, I think that dance and sports and things like that always got me out of that headspace, which is why I probably always leaned on that to some extent. And I obviously still do dance and create and whatever, but I think I can just be maybe taking more creative risks, maybe doing more like videos like I used to do. I'm gonna bring this a little bit lower. I feel like I'm just a little bit too looking up right now. My back hurts. I feel like I could be doing more dance concept videos like I used to. Like if you scroll down on this channel really far, okay, a few years ago probably, I used to always make like dance concept videos, and it was really fun. And then you have like something to think about and something to ruminate on. Because if my mind is dormant, has nothing to ruminate on in a creative way, it will go negative most of the time. So that's my new prerogative, is to like take more useful risks, so I stop thinking so much about useless hypothetical risks and doom and the concept of doom. And it's just like, you know, getting out of my head, out of my personhood is always a challenge. But anyways, I've been watching the show Industry on HBO, on Crave, probably depending on where you live, and it's really good. And I relate so much to Harper. It's like a little bit insane because she's like very problematic or like unlikable, or not unlikable. Like I think she's likable, but people have issues with her attitude. I think people have issues with her attitude. So because people have issues with her attitude, she's often like quiet and like brooding and like just thinking. And then she'll just like burst. Relatable. So relatable. Too relatable. Also just been thinking about my friendships, my friendship betrayal, and I also had a romantic situation end recently. And weirdly enough, I do feel better, like in a way, because sometimes when you feel like you're tied to people, saying not one specific person, but just like, I think these different relationships, friendships, romantic, that have ended in the past couple months for me, I feel energetically lighter. Even though I've been hurt by some things, I do feel like better. So that's weird, right? Like I feel like my tie to a sinking rock has been released. You know how some people say like relationships or friendships? No, I think they only say it about relationships, that it can feel like being stuck inside another person or something, or suffocating inside another person. I think if it's not the right person, it can feel like that. Or if it's the wrong friendship, it can feel like that. Also, somebody said about friendships that I wish I saw years ago. She was like, if somebody wants to be your friend really, really bad, that's a red flag. And you need to run, because they want something from you. And once they get it, they're going to mistreat you. Wow, that happened to me. That happened to me. The girl who I felt betrayed me. Well, she did betray me. It's not that I just felt it. It was accurate. She used to say in the beginning, she would be like, oh my gosh, I forced Kira to be my friend. I forced Kira to be my friend. As soon as she, whatever, she was like, yeah, I forced her to be my friend. I just knew she had to be my friend. Like, I forced her. And it was like a joke, but it wasn't. And then when I think about it, I'm like, oh, I guess she did. And that also happens with some romantic relationships that I have been in or that have happened recently. Is like, I realized I was like easing up. I was kind of backing off. And he was like, no. He didn't say no. he just like really fought for it, and I thought that was admirable. And he was like, you need to text me more. And I thought that was like admirable, but maybe, I don't know. He ended up just being a little bit like, I would say controlling, a little bit judgy, very judgy, very judgy. 10 out of 10 judgy. And like for reasons that he did not deserve to be able to be judgy, like you should not be judging me for these things, and you are not in a place to, and you have no leg to stand on, and like how dare you actually, like it. And you know, men hate my how dare you, but when you're me, it doesn't make sense to, it just doesn't, okay? It's like, and I'm not saying at all to this degree of like importance, but you know when Rhaenyra and Kristen Cole are like on the ship, and Kristen Cole's like, you could run away with me from all of this and be with me, and we could go live on a farm away from all of this, and she looks back like, and give up my fucking crown, you dumb idiot? No, for you, no. What do you have? That's how I feel often. Which means I just need to be single for a while until I either like engage with this creative empire that I seem to have thoughts about. Not until, because that doesn't feel like a destination. That feels like a journey that I'm interested in. And when people take me off that path or feel like they start to pull me in ways that I'm like, what are you doing? I have a thing I'm doing here, and I have a place that I do it in. And I have an environment and an ecosystem that I've created, and you're not respecting that or understanding because you don't know how to respect a woman who has a direction. You haven't been taught, okay? Maybe that's not your fault, but it is your responsibility, and I don't really care. I'm not gonna, like, so many guys want, like, a girl like me who's, like, seemingly, you know, got whatever going on, has creative interests, is outspoken, but then it feels like they want to put me in a cage, or, like, they want me to be, like, more traditional, or they just, and, like, they know who I am beforehand, and then they start to, like, judge me and, like, make me feel judged and make me feel like I can't be myself. And I'm like, what is going on? How did we get here? This was not the deal. This was not the deal, bro. And what part, and this is my major question with like all of my issues in the past couple months, what part of anything that I've ever done made any of you think that I was gonna put up with that? Could you cite a source of when I showed that I was gonna put up with that? Like with this particular friend, I don't think I said this yet, I forget. With this particular friend, I know I'm jumping from story to story, just, okay, follow me. With this particular friend, hey Google, what time is it?
It's 10:35 a.m.
Okay, I have an appointment, but I have time. With this particular friend, there was a time we went to a restaurant together. There was someone else there too. And we brought our dogs. And the people at the restaurant were really weird about like us having dogs and wanting to sit on the patio. Because they said their patio was open, but it wasn't like really officially open. So they made a really big deal about like letting us sit on the patio, but then they wanted us to be at a high table. And we were like, oh, can we sit at a low table? Because like we have dogs. And the girl was like, like, well, we actually have already got a server to this specific area. And I was like, oh, that's okay, we'll go somewhere else. And she was like, well, we've already arranged it. And I was like, no, that's okay, because like you made it weird. Like now I'm not gonna feel guilty. I didn't say all this. I was just like, no, it's okay. It's weird now. I think I said that. And then I just walked out because I'm not staying and paying when I don't have to, and you're being weird and I feel uncomfortable now and it's already weird, right? And this friend was there and she loved that. And she was like, you said what we were thinking. Like, I love that you just said it and like you weren't gonna put up with that. And then she lies to me for a month and does all that bullshit. I've already talked about this. I'm not talking about it again right now. And you thought, what made you think I'm appalled. I'm appalled for so many reasons. But I'm just like, none of my personality has ever shown any of you that I was going to put up with that. And then you just have to keep reminding yourself like who the fuck you are and stuff. It's exhausting, bro. But I've been like on like a affirmation self-love kick. I know it's like, it sounds corny, but oh my God, I think I need it. Because the issue is with bitches like us, okay? People think we're so strong and we have things that we think, and maybe we're super sure of ourselves and nothing can take us down. So then they throw stones because they think they can get that shit off. And they project and they don't check in, and they don't think you need any softness or appreciation or encouragement, because they see you as just somebody who doesn't need that because they're like too strong or something stupid, something probably racist, but it's wrong. It's not true. I do need softness. I do need encouragement. I do need kindness. I do need some grace. So I have to give that to myself, and I have to trust myself, and I have to let myself be my own authority and my own validation. Because at the end of the day, I do respect my own opinion, and I do respect myself, and I do respect what I'm doing, and I do feel good about who I am at the core. I do think that some people have destabilized me, and I haven't maybe been as much myself. But it was also because somebody was lying to me, and I knew that, but they were very close to me and in my life every day. So that is a sickening, toxic thing that I felt poisoned my blood. And I did need to detox from that, because that is a sick experience to have put someone on for a whole month while they lie to you and talk shit behind your back. And they still get paid. And I'm not petty at all. I'm just normal. I'm just Kira. I'm just so strong and independent, and I don't need any encouragement or any consideration. Please judge me. Create your freaking white girl narratives about why you think I am the way I am and gossip about it for a month. I bet that feels good. I bet that felt so good to talk like that about me. I hope it was fun. I'm sure it was. And I'm glad I can give you that fucking gift. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting a little bit aggressive. Let me tone it down. Do you see why I relate to Harper from Industry? Okay, I have to go, but this was fun. I'll talk soon. Bye.